Good morning from Churchville, New York. This morning I would like to share with you how I took care of a problem in my front garden that is right along the sidewalk. The home is located in the village of Churchville, and during the ice storm in the 90s, many of the trees were lost. The village installed this large linden tree. And when I purchased the property some 10 years later, the linden was rather small. It has grown substantially, and as it grew, I began to notice that the problem was they did not properly plant the tree. So we're going right in for the close-up, and right here you will see there's a root. In fact, if I pull the camera back, you may be able to see where, starting at the sidewalk, right here, and moving up towards the tree, there's a slope. So they did not properly plant the tree, and that they planted it too shallow, and in addition, they did not take the root ball apart, so the roots are right at the surface. That created a tall mound right around the base of the tree. Prior to becoming a master gardener, let me repeat that, there's a lot of traffic in the early morning. Prior to becoming a master gardener, I decided it looked unsightly, the grass under the tree was dying, and the roots were exposed and being hit every time we mowed the lawn. So I did what many people do, and I built a small volcano around the base of the tree. I then became a master gardener and learned that is absolutely horrible. That is not the thing to do, and I needed to rectify the situation. So I began by installing hosta around the base of the tree, pulling the plantings out, and creating a very gentle slope. So now you'll see there's a variety of hosta. I've interspersed that with impatience, bleeding heart, more bleeding heart, lily of the valley, and it's the pink lily of the valley. Moving this way, you can see the lungwort, which is a plant from my grandmother's garden, and in the spring it gets a combination of pink and blue blossoms on it. Pulling back and looking at it, you'll see that I've pulled it back substantially and underplanted, and it's a little difficult to see because of all the shade, so I definitely would characterize this as a shade garden. There are spring bulbs planted throughout. So early in the spring, there is a large planting of many bulbs that has to begin coming up. I intersperse it with a few impatiens and some other colors and create an attractive garden from what once was an extremely unattractive garden. Along the edge here, there's the sidewalk. Forgive the shadow, moving over to the sunny side on the other side of the sidewalk. So to create continuity all along the sidewalk, on the right hand side there's dianthus. Moving across the sidewalk, I put dianthus in again. I tried some begonias right along the edge because they used to do really well here, but it's becoming so shady that the begonias do not grow very well at all. It is July 31st, and they are not much bigger than they were when I planted them. As for the hosta, I've installed a number of different varieties, and then there's columbine at the point, there's autumn sedum. Move across the sidewalk, and again there is the sedum with more of the sun type loving flowers such as the daisy, and then there's the dianthus along here as well. So it sort of creates some continuity. In the back, some leotris, and then moving back across the sidewalk, you'll just see that it's just a nice solution to what was a problem. First, a tree that was improperly planted, but to take it out would have been a problem and left a huge void. And in addition, where the tree was taking the nutrients, the problem was that the grass wouldn't grow, and then with the deep shade evolving as the tree grew, the grass stopped growing altogether. So this has been transformed from an eyesore to an attractive curbside shade garden.